Hey, welcome back to SharePoint TV. My name is Fritz, and we've got another full table here of guests. Oh my gosh, this is great. Why don't we introduce ourselves here?
So, hi, my name is Zohar, and I'm the Group Program Manager for SharePoint and OneDrive Administration Experience.
My name is Trent Green. I'm a Program Manager also on the SharePoint OneDrive Admin Experience.
And I'm the Design Manager for the same experience, SharePoint OneDrive Admin Center.
And your name?
Dieter Jansen.
There you go. So we got Dieter, Trent, and Zohar here to talk to us about SharePoint administration. Now, we've heard a lot. There have been a bunch of really great announcements this week around different features in SharePoint. Being able to administer those things, that's a whole nother ball of wax. What kinds of things should we be looking for as administrators around some of those announcements? That's kind of important.
Yeah, so this is, I think, conference number 3 or 4 that we've been introducing more and more of our journey to modernize the administration experience. It is right that we've been, over the last few years, releasing a lot of great capabilities for the SharePoint and OneDrive users. And it took us a little longer to get to catch up with all that goodness on the admin side. We started a year ago. We've released to the early preview a sneak peek of everything that we're doing. It was the new modern admin center in preview mode. And in this conference, we've announced additional set of capabilities and described a little bit more about our journey. Our intent is that during this year, we would move all our customers to be on the modern experience.
Terrific. Got to look forward to that.
Yeah.
And we're going to hide, kind of put in the background the classic admin that was built a few years back. And the main difference is that the classic wasn't offering capabilities to administrators to manage all the new SharePoint and OneDrive capabilities, forcing people to go to PowerShell.
Yeah, that feels weird, having to bounce back and forth between the graphical and then the console, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then we received a lot of feedback since the preview, so it's been roughly around a year out there. And in this conference, we've responded and showed how we acted on a lot of the feedback we've received. The team were, I would say, regularly almost addicted to all the feedback we get. We read through
Hanging
it.
out in user voice and seeing what's going on there.
Every morning we check.
Yeah?
The entire team, we read every single piece of feedback every single morning.
Oh my gosh. And Dieter, I'm assuming as design manager, you had a real challenge there, triaging and saying, these are the priorities.
Yeah, absolutely. But we have a healthy conversation between all different disciplines to see where the priorities lie. But it's so important, and we brought that yesterday up at the talk too. Like we need that feedback. We want to make this experience better and make them successful, our customers, our admins, make them successful and productive. We need that feedback to help prioritize and move those things along.
Absolutely. So Zohar, I got to imagine that's got to be a good feeling for you to be able to say, you know what, this is what our customers want, and it helps that prioritization, and it really shows that we're listening and we're delivering exactly what they need.
Yeah, it's exactly that, and I think we had a lot of catch up to do, and we've done a lot so far in the last 12 months, and we're introducing another set of features that we will be starting to release starting June.
Okay.
And then right after that, our intent is to make the default become the new admin center.
Nice.
And today in this session, we'll show a few of the capabilities. We'll demonstrate a lot of great features that we've announced this release, and kind of cover even backwards a little about things that are out there already.
Cool. Do you have that on your laptop there, Trent? We can take a look at?
Yeah, I can jump right in here into the laptop.
All right.
So what you're seeing now is we are announcing to you the addition of this new, as Zohar said, classic features page, where we're bringing a lot of the classic pages directly to the modern experience. This way you don't have to go back and forth between the modern experience and the classic one. So when I click got it here, it'll announce to me these 2 important pages. First is the active sites page. It's a really powerful experience showing you all of your sites, group connected or not. And I can go there to manage sites and view sites and do all things related to sites, and it's a really awesome experience. Next, as I said, this classic features page, and it's calling out the fact that I can now do all of my SharePoint administration. Every single feature is available through the modern by looking at this page, especially because we're bringing up all the classic pages.
One nice thing I would call out that in this demo you saw, we got a lot of feedback about discoverability. As we moved to the new modern experience, people were calling out the fact that there's missing functionality But as a fact, inside our team, we knew that that functionality exists. So we introduced these what we call training bubbles that you saw, these pop-ups in blue that actually handhold you through the journey.
It's so nice to have that, and you get that a little bit in Windows, you get that sometimes on your phone, to just show you and give you that discoverability. I like that a lot.
And we'll see more of them soon.
Yeah, and it's it's normal too. It's this transition too, right? Like they're coming from a complete different experience. Like even though we streamline the experience and make it very simple to navigate through, there's still things that we know that are in different places than what they're used to. Making sure that we call those out with these tools really helps.
And I think what we want to kind of emphasize is with this new capability that Trent showed, now no one should actually go to the classic anymore. Everything that you do as a SharePoint administrator, you could find in the modern experience. All is linked from there.
Yeah, you don't want to have customers with that, where'd they move my cheese problem, right?
Yes,
oh my
exactly.
gosh, my cheese is not where I expect it to be. Yeah, okay. So this is how we can get back into those classic features. So how do they look now on the modern side?
So a lot of the features have already been modernized, like the active sites page, and especially also the sharing page here, where you can see we've taken all the features from the classic sharing page and brought them directly to a modern experience with the new UI. For the ones that we have not brought over yet, they're going to live for now in this classic features page, which is a landing page where I can jump to all the other classic experiences.
Okay.
So for instance here, I'll open the term store, and it actually opens a new tab because it's not a modernized experience and it's the exact same UI people have had for years.
Okay. That way you're not kind of jostled. You know that you've left, you've gone somewhere else.
Exactly.
Okay. It's not the integrated experience. Makes sense. Okay.
Exactly, was one of the top pieces of feedback that we heard. Like they had to go back to the old experience to do this work. Now that we brought it here, you really don't have to go back. You can stay in the new experience that will take you still to the pages that you were looking for in the classic.
So it looks like we have a comment here from Cameron in the chat room. Term store and tenant search schema is what I would use it for previously. So it looks like we're moving in that right direction to accommodate Cameron in particular. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I also understand one of the big features, one of the big things that folks were excited about this week, site rename.
Oof, it's a big one.
So one of the most powerful tools that we have in the modernizing experience is how you manage all the sites.
Yeah.
In the past, in the classic experience, the list only included IT-created sites. As we moved Microsoft 365 to what we call self-service mode, employees in your company are now able to create a lot of their own collaboration spaces, and they were slightly hidden from the SharePoint administrator. So if you went to the classic, you would see IT-created sites, and PowerShell gave you a visibility to everything. In the new modern experience, we actually provide you a list of everything, and Trent would show a little bit of the capabilities on how we allow you to manage that list, because one of the announcements we made in the conference, even though 500,000 was a big number, that's the amount of lists of sites that any tenant in our cloud had.
Wow.
There were slightly customers that were growing really fast towards that number. So in this conference, we announced we're increasing the limit to 1 million sites.
Oh my gosh.
So imagine an IT needing to manage through this UI 1 million sites.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to show a few great capabilities that are only available, and that's what we invested in the modernization experience.
Oh, terrific. What do we got, Trent?
Let's see. So again, this is the active sites page. I can see all my sites here, classic and modern sites, all brought here, group connected sites as well. One of the most powerful things I can do here is just start using this list and leveraging all the functionality of the list view here. So I can do filters and sorts. So I can, for instance, I can filter by template and look at just communication sites, or I could look at all my awesome team sites by adding different columns. And for instance, I can add this group column, and I can then filter by, I want all group connected sites. I'll have to first clear this filter. And now I can see the fact that all my, all of my sites are in one view here. And it's a really powerful, hold on, I have to go back, sorry. It's a really powerful ability to see all my sites at once. Real quick, what it's calling out again is this teaching bubble here. We have this in place piece of communication that we're telling you you can actually do more than what you're doing right now. And so what it's asking me here is if I want to save this view. So when I change the columns, I can actually save this for later. So I can click try it now and say that because I added the group connected here, I can say only groups. And I can save this for later. So if I want to come back and only look at the group connected sites, I can come right here.
Jump right into that view.
So we have a bunch of built-in views, which is awesome. So in this case, I could also go to this Office 365 group connected sites view, which is built in for all tenants. And of course, I can always add my custom views.
So I think the big power of this tool is that now we're not only that we're bringing the list of all the sites you have, we're also bringing a lot of metadata that comes across as columns. And you can start creating filters and views dedicated to your day job. So if you're involved in allowing or blocking external sharing, you would create a dedicated view for external sharing.
Okay.
And different administrators in the company can create their own views, name them, and use that for easily discovering and taking action on sites.
Sure.
And you saw the pop-up. One of the feedbacks we got is people were constantly asking us for adding more columns or being able to save the view. That was available and since the preview, and now we're making it clear with that teaching bubble that here's how you use it.
Oh yeah, and right, some of the metaphors you're using in that user interface, it's very discoverable. Even before the bubble, you'd probably be able to find it after a click or two, but the bubble just makes it right there immediately noticeable.
Yeah.
Never enough columns. We want to be able to scroll to the right. You keep going over, my goodness. You're going to find the end of that Excel spreadsheet over on the right, aren't you?
That's actually a beautiful comment.
Oh yeah?
Because another ask we got was to export it to Excel.
Oh,
so
yes.
not only that you could create the filters, you could also export the list to Excel, and then Excel lets you do a lot of powerful things like coloring it or doing things that people use often and give us feedback about.
Okay. That's really neat to be able to see. And I'm assuming the search is snappy and using all of our search functionality that you'd expect. Really, really cool. Now, where exactly do I jump into the rename from here? Right?
Okay, I can show a rename. So yeah, it's we brought it directly to this active sites list where I can manage and change my sites. And so in this case, I'll pick Contoso Labs, and I can open up the info panel by clicking on the title here.
Okay.
And you'll notice the little edit button we've added recently next to the URL. And this allows me to come and change the site URL.
Oh, that's actually hiding. It's hiding behind our camera there. Can we? Yeah. Can we move the browser over just a little bit so we can see it?
See if I can do this. Can you
there
see
we go.
it there?
Now we can see it.
You can half see it here. I'll throw it to the side now. So what you can see is the info panel on the right side. You can see next to the URL a little edit button we've added, and I can click this edit button to open up another panel to change the site address.
Prompt.
So let's talk about the site rename experience, which is the interesting part about it. This,
it looks too simple.
Yeah,
right. There's how many other things happening behind the scenes.
So the ability to change the site is the easy part. The work that we spent over the last few months was to make sure that once the site is on the destination, a lot of the things that worked in the past, for example, if I share, Jeff, with you a set of links, and it's in your inbox as things to use, you would click on that link and it will continue to work also on the destination.
Yeah, we got to get that forward so the old URLs still work.
So the trick is what we're actually doing is we're leaving a stub redirect URL on the source that would lead customers to the destination no matter where they come from. And that stub we've got throughout the conference a lot of questions about, because many people are renaming the site because they want to actually move a different site into that original location. So people were asking us, how do you free up the old location if there's a redirect? And the answer is we're still offering this feature in PowerShell only. This would one day come to the UX as we continue to work through this journey. That lets you manage all the redirects that were left after every site rename. So
I was going to say, it looks like our friend here in the chat room, SD Keen, is asking exactly that question. You read his mind there, Zohar. Look at that. How do we free up the old site? So it sounds like there's a PowerShell option that we can hit. Terrific. And am I right in thinking that a lot of what we're seeing here that has been added to the user interface, you can do all that in PowerShell anyway? We're just putting a nice user interface in front of some of those same commands.
So site rename, for example, which is a new command, both in the UI and in the PowerShell. You could do the site rename in the PowerShell. You could also do the site rename itself in the web UX.
Yep.
The managing the redirects is still PowerShell only, and we'll over time bring it to this UX.
Okay. Trent, can you show us what that PowerShell commandlet looks like for for working with those site names?
I don't have the command ready here, so
Okay. Not a problem.
yeah, but I can finish this rename if you'd like.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so what it's doing here is it's prompting me to enter a new address. In this case, I'll rename it to research. And it's going to verify that it's available. And then when I click save, it'll start updating the site. And as Zohar said, what it's doing now is adding this redirect to the old URL to make sure that the workflow for every user is uninterrupted no matter what.
And there we can see right next to Dieter, it says updating under the URL.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the things we like is this little spinner that is called the progress indicator that gives the administrator indication of what are the things that are currently progressing. And then once it's done, it pops up and says finished.
It's that little animated GIF. It's that little polish, right? That, gosh, you must hear this a lot, Dieter. Just that little polish that finishes communicating that last little bit of status, right?
Absolutely, it's the little details that really does it. You know?
Yeah. So are there any kinds of polish things and things that happen during the design process as you work through adding some of these new features here, Dieter, that you want to call out some of our folks should know about?
I think you touched on it, like it looks almost too simple, right?
Yeah.
And like we're dealing with a lot of complexity, like complex scenarios. We don't need to bring that to the to the UI. Like we bring a simple experience, and we'll take care of that complexity in the background. Like we don't have to bother the user about all that complexity there. Keep it simple, and that's something that we have really healthy discussions in the product team. Like how can we make things simple in the front end and still move that complexity into the back.
I think one of the things I would add is that from the program management perspective, we really love working with our design team. There's things and elements that they're adding. I think you want to show the how we treat feedback. The feedback button was something that people gave us commentary that it's in their way and blocking. These little nuances is what Dieter should kind of brag about on how design brings to our product. So one of the things we've done is to allow collapsing the feedback button. It's these little nuances that the fit and finish that we're now paying way more attention to.
It pays dividends then, because then folks who aren't as technical, maybe they don't know the PowerShell commands, they can still come through and they can interact, but you can have those power users using PowerShell. Yeah, that's a thing, right? That can script and automate a lot of the process. I really like that attention to empower the non-technical folks.
Actually, that's a great point. We have another feature which I think actually brings a lot more of that power directly from the PowerShell to the active sites list.
Okay.
I'm going to show it off real quick. We can.
Please do.
We've brought this ability to. We've heard from feedback that people hate doing the same action over and over and over again, and so we've now brought this ability to do bulk actions. So I can multi-select by clicking, or I can do a shift click to select many, and I can go up here to the bulk edit bar, and I can change properties directly from here.
Oh, very cool.
In this case, we have sharing, delete, and hub site association. We plan to add more in the future, but as you said, this is really taking that power user functionality from PowerShell, where I'd have to go and do a query and then do a loop, and now I can just do all this bulk edit right here in the UI.
And gosh, I am such a point and click person when it comes to administering, not just SharePoint, but the Azure portal, and to be able to have a great user interface that automates all those things in PowerShell is such a relief. Oh my goodness.
And if you look at the list today, Trent mentioned that we have sharing, delete, and hub sites. That's all based on feedback from customers on what they wanted bulk first.
Okay.
I think we should demo the hub site story and how associating to a hub is how we're bringing to the administrator a lot of the experiences that we have on the information worker, on the employee itself. So this really is a powerful tool that was added to SharePoint about a year back, and we are continuously improving and delighting customers with this new set of capabilities.
Terrific. Let's take a look.
Yeah, let me show you. So I can come to any site. In this case, I'm going to pick operations, and I can go right here to hub site and register this as a hub site. I can enter a new hub site name, and it will update really quickly and actually update directly in the hub site association column, and you'll see that it is now a hub site.
Nice.
It's done. And if you go to the site, it'll have an indicative hub nav, meaning that it takes effect right away. It's really fast.
Very cool. I love the speed and the ease of interaction, right? These things that were how many steps before, you had to wait for a page reload, and oh my gosh, nice and easy to interact with. SharePoint administrators must be really happy with some of these updates.
Yeah, they are.
Oh my gosh.
hub sites are a huge thing, and part of the hub site as well is not just creating the hub site, but associating sites with it. And that again can leverage this new bulk action feature where I can select my multiple sites, get these 4 or these, and now I can go to bulk edit, click on hub site association, and click my brand new operations hub you just saw me make.
Yeah.
So the theme that we're driving in these sessions on admin that we do in this conference and before is we're really bringing powerful and simple tools to the administrator. Our goal is to make every administrator out there much more efficient and taking actions, especially in a world where you're growing to 1 million sites and customers, your employees are creating a lot of these collaboration spaces.
Oh yeah, you've got to be faster and be able to juggle those so much quicker, so much easier. 1 million sites is, I can't even fathom what you'd be doing with 1 million sites, but somebody must be doing it. Large conglomerates must be doing this type of thing. And we're seeing, how many sites at once on the page. I'm assuming there's abilities to be able to see more on a page and that kind of thing, to paging and that.
So this
type of
responsive
interaction.
page, we're taking advantage of capabilities that exist in SharePoint. It's actually built on a SharePoint list behind the scenes. You could continue to scroll. So if you're in the scroll business and want to see all of them on the page, then you'll keep scrolling and we'll keep pulling in.
Good
and
luck.
it's very
Right.
responsive. Other approaches would be filtering and searching and really
I think that's key.
targeting.
Yes.
And that's where HubSite comes very efficient. Like one of the things you could filter is just show me the sites that belong to this operation hub site that we just created, and now you can manage these specific ones.
Very cool. Now, is there any way to see, I see we've got a created column over there. Do we have visibility into things that have been kind of orphaned? So when you're managing 500,000, 1 million of these things, you're going to want to clean up at some point. Do we have visibility into that type of interaction?
So we should show, one of the things you could look at is things that are least used. You could look at the date creation. So one of the, piece of the metadata in the columns, you could start filtering and really finding.
Create that view.
And then what we offer now is bulk delete. So you could actually multi-select them and delete them at once.
Nice. Yeah. How many sites are created that are out there that are, management for the 2017 event, right? And it's all the planning and things around that. Now that project's done, go ahead, we can delete it, archive it, whatever the case may be. Great stuff. Really neat to see there. So these are things that are going to be available when for all of our customers? Are they available now?
Most of the things that you see are available now. We have another wave coming in June that would actually introduce things that we've showed, and namely the ability to see the classic experiences in the modern, and then taking actions in bulk.
Okay.
Site rename is today in private preview. We're finalizing it based on the feedback we're getting from customers. We're making sure that it's ready. We're more quality driven than date driven. So as we finalize that, we're looking at a month or two, and then we'll start rolling it out more broadly to production.
And then we'll see, we already saw the introduction of some of those bulk actions. I'm assuming before Ignite, we'll see a couple more of those talked about, rolled out, and we'll hear a little bit more roadmap as we get closer to the fall event.
Yeah.
That's great stuff. Anything else we want to leave the folks with before we sign off?
So you talked about Ignite and the end of the year. There's a set of additional things that we're focused on that were presented in the session. We highly recommend seeing the session. I think it's getting recorded and we'll go out there. The focus we have that wasn't mentioned yet is we're also working with across Microsoft. There's a set of admin centers. There's the general admin center. There's the SharePoint specialist. There's Exchange specialist. There's the compliance and security centers. Many of our administrators have given us feedback that they're required in order to do their day job to hop across these. And historically, if you look at our journey, we came from a large set of on-prem products that all had their own design language and experiences. And with Microsoft 365, we have across Microsoft an effort to align the language. Dieter was showing that in the session of how we're working towards aligning the design language of all our admin centers, and it actually allows us to reuse capabilities much better across the admin center. So we'll be introducing a lot of that towards later this year.
Go ahead, Dieter, hit that clap button there so we can applaud that. Clap up top row.
There we go.
There we go. That's worthy of applause. So be able to have one common language, one common layout and interaction for folks to be able to administer all the things that are going on their intranet, whether it's SharePoint, Exchange. That's tremendous. That's really great stuff, and I got to imagine that's going to help make folks even more efficient and productive at how they interact with all these great resources. Terrific.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, guys. This was really informative. And to those of you out there on SharePoint TV, I hope you stick around. We'll have another guest joining us in about an hour or so, just in time for lunch. All right? Take care. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.